meeting with us. Welcome to all the new associates that have taken the training class with Alan Roman and Ms. Randa Ivy. We are here to assist you today to have your questions to be asked within our training. Welcome once again to all that have taken the class, the new associates that are here to learn about the CDLP space. And with that, Mr. Dunbar, I return the call over to you.
All right, fantastic. All right, guys, I'm getting set up on YouTube too right now. We're gonna be going over a couple of different things. So like Sharon said, thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for your patience while we get set up to get moving forward here. Congratulations to all the newly certified individuals here on our Zoom tonight, and for those who just took the refresher. So we always congratulate you guys because it's good that you guys go back in and celebrate. Refresh. I'm talking about celebrate. I started a little congratulations up there. Go back up and refresh the information so that you can really move forward and know what the newest information is. So thank you guys again for joining us. We've got some of our trainers on the line this evening. We're going to do an introduction real quickly before we get into our introductions, just so you all know what we're going to be discussing. We've got a sheet today. Mr. Randy Hooker will be going over the changes for FMCSA that are coming. So he's pulled the sheet. He'll have the sheet up tonight to go over it. And I'm sure he'll be posting it somewhere, but he'll mention that when he speaks about it. So you'll know the changes that are coming to prepare for them. Again, more talking points for you all as you go out in the field and talk about what LegalShield can do for your clients, what CDLP can do. And then we're going to be having another discussion again about the CDLP plan in conjunction with the business plan, in conjunction with the family plan, and how it can affect your business, how it can affect your client, and how to use that business plan properly when you offer it to a CDL company, so that you know what aspects of that business plan will work on behalf of that trucking company and which ones won't, so that you're not overselling and under delivering, right? We don't ever want to do that. We always want to undersell and over deliver. So we're going to talk a little bit about that as well here this evening. So I'm going to open it up to our trainers to introduce themselves. Mr. Lamar Reynolds won't be on tonight. Of course, him and his family are preparing for the storm that's coming, but we do have Mr. Randy Hooker on today. We have Ms. Randa Ivy on today, and we have our host, Miss Sharon Holiday, who let you guys all in. So we'll be talking to you guys here. If any other trainers pop in during this Zoom, we'll definitely let you know that they're on. So Miss Randa Ivy, I'm gonna turn it over to you first, so you can start with your introduction, and then we'll get moving.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, and welcome everyone. My name is Sharanda Ivy. I'm out of Georgia. I'm the CDLP state trainer for the state of Georgia. Been with LegalShield for 8 years. Business Solutions Sapphire Associate. We've earned the 1000 Production App Award. Named 2019 Field Trainer of the Year. And just enjoy working in the space. We had a big class on Saturday, and just hope that, we were able to share some insight more onto this CDLP space, just to remove some of the myths that are out there in the market. So, like I say, just love working in this space. This is my focus, full service associate, but I do focus on business solutions and, the CDLP space. So one of the top producers in the small business space. And, as all of us are, we're all field trainers. So again, if I can help anyone, we have a list in the back office of our CDLP and business solutions field trainers. So don't hesitate to reach out. But definitely want to make sure, everybody just, like I said on Saturday, just, respect the brand, and let's try to do it right, and just help a lot of commercial drivers and transportation companies. So with that, I pass it over to, I guess, Randy.
Good evening. My name is Raymond Hooker, or Randy Hooker. I've been with LegalShield since going on my 14th year. And we have worked all aspects of the business, from recruiting to small business to CDLP and group benefits. We've got quite a few groups that we service through group benefits. And we started in 2019 focusing more on the CDL membership and the transportation, because I found that in transportation, I sell all of the products, from the office staff with the employee benefits, the CDL drivers with their CDL plan, and with the small business plan to the company. You're able to not leave any money on the table. You can pick up everything for that company that they need. And so it has been a true pleasure. We run from January till October. We run the $50,000 ring, sold over 1,000 apps, closing in on 1,500. And I'm a field trainer here in San Angelo, Texas, which is about 200 miles from any place that is notable. We're right down in the big middle of Texas, and we have to drive quite a ways to some of the places that we go, but we've made it happen, and you can too. It's not hard. The one thing that I've always said about CDL, you have to learn the industry. When you do, you can share with what our product does for that industry, and your CDL drivers will buy the product. You don't have to sell them if you'll understand what it does for them and convey that message. So look forward to working with anyone. If they can use my help, I'll be glad to work with them. And I'll turn it over. I get Robert or Sharon. You're muted, Robert.
Oh, there we go. All right, appreciate that. So thank you, Randy and Sharanda, for the quick introduction. My name is Robert Dunbar. I've been with the business for 13 years now. I've been a trainer for over 6 years, been a CDLP trainer for over 3 years, and really love the business. Love working LegalShield, love working in the group space, whether it be CDLP or non-CDLP, and the team building aspect as well. So it's a great opportunity, great streams of income. And I love the fact that it's leveraged, and it also will pay you for years after you write the memberships, right? So this call here that we do every Monday, I believe we're on Zoom number 55 right now. 55 different Zooms that we've done talking about CDLP. We've also done, I don't even know how many actual conference calls before we started to Zoom. I think we have almost 2 years of conference calls on a weekly basis. So that would be right around 100 conference calls. So all the information is there for you guys to look at, to build from, and grow from as it comes to CDLP. We also have a Facebook page that you can join at any given time and ask questions. And we may mention at some point during this call tonight, when you're asking questions, if you're answering questions on the Facebook page, please make sure that you know the precise answer, you know the correct answer when you're answering people, so that people aren't confused. And be careful when you're asking questions that you find out who's answering the questions, to make sure that your question is being answered correctly. Because in any social media aspect, you're going to have people that's going to answer questions wanting to help, but just may have the wrong answer. So just make sure that you pay attention to what's going on the page and who you're speaking with when you ask questions. But it's a great place to go to be able to ask questions, look at the files that we have, look at the recorded Zoom calls that we have as well. And you can also go to the YouTube channel. So if you go to Robert at Training by Dunbar or Robert Dunbar, any of those, go to my YouTube channel and click a look at the playlist. If you scroll down, you will see a playlist of nothing but LegalShield CDLP weekly training videos. They all go for about an hour, and you'll see all 3 annual trainings that we've done, because we are on the 3rd annual this year. And those trainings normally go about an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours. And that is us going over everything from how to prospect a trucking company, how to pull their safety score, what the numbers mean, what the information means on their safety score, and how to present that information to a decision maker or a safety manager or a safety director to get into that company to offer group. So our latest one is the 3rd annual, and we've got that one starts with Randy Hooker going over truckdriver.com. So if you're saying, how do I pull companies? Go there, look at it. It's already segmented, guys. So if you go to the description, it lets you know everything we talk about. If you click on that number on below there, it'll take you right to that section. We prefer you look at the whole thing. But if you're looking for something specific, if you go to the description section of that video, it will show you how to get to any specific area and look at it. And that is Randy Hooker training, Lamar Reynolds training, Catherine Pouliot training, Sharanda Ivy and myself are talking about the business and how everything works. So take a look at that as well. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to my good friend, Randy Hooker, and he is going to pull up the paper on FMCSA and all the changes that are gonna be taking place in February. So this is something that you guys need to know moving forward. So Randy Hooker.
Thank you, Robert. I'm going to share a screen here. This is the FMCSA changes the CDL requirements. It was posted out in July 29, 2019. But this is coming in February, if you'll notice right under the picture. On February the 7th of 2022, next February, the Safety Administration is placing requirements on entry-level CDL drivers. The ELDTs are going to have quite a bit more to do than what there is right now. It is so that, and this paper is so that you can get it to the safety directors and stuff. If they've got some people that are driving little cars that aren't, or vehicles that aren't running 26,000 pounds, but they're wanting to move up to drive anything over 26,000 pounds, they're going to have their CDL. And if they don't want to have to do everything that's going to be required after the 7th of February, they will want to go ahead and get their license ASAP. There's going to be a rush on it. As people find out, it's getting out quite a bit now. Quite a few people know about it. The schools are going to be required to do some different things. The school teachers are even going to be required to do more than what they used to. And down here it says increased curriculum mandates. This is the one that's pretty big, is the DOT is going to require 31 theory course topics instead of the original 4 knowledge topics. Guys, that's lots more time to get that CDL. And so therefore, they're going to have to be accompanied by 19 mandated behind the wheel skills. So there's going to be a lot more training that's going to have to be done to become a CDL driver. Basically right now, if you can pass the test and pass the driving test, you can get your CDL. So you're good and pass a physical, you can basically get your CDL. After the 7th of February of next year, it's almost going to be like going to college. And so this is going to be huge for our drivers to get more drivers. We've already got a shortage of drivers, of course. And so this is a really neat paper. I'll post it on the Facebook page in the file section after the meeting. Also, don't forget, this week is Driver Appreciation Week, and I put a posting on Facebook, and I'd love everybody to share that to their Facebook page, and so that we can get more out to the John Q public about Driver Safety Week for the drivers and what have you. So, and then of course, any of your companies that you're working with, if there's anything you can do, see what you can do to help them out in driver appreciation. And I'll have this posted. Over to you, Robert.
All right, good stuff. Appreciate that, guys. So remember, whenever something's posted on the page, you can go right to the page and scroll down and you'll see it. If you don't happen to see it on the page because you miss it for some reason, just go to the file section. So go to the page and you'll see those 3 little dots on the side or an area that says more. Click that and go to the file section, and make sure you take a look at that periodically to see the new things that we put in there for you all, just in case you missed the notification because you may not be on Facebook. So thanks for that. So prepare for those new changes, prepare your people for those new changes. Again, that is something else that you can grab off the Facebook page and use as an icebreaker when you're walking into a company. Are a lot of companies going to already know about those changes? Some of them are already going to know that it's coming down the pipeline. Some won't. whether they do or they don't, when you walk in and use it as an icebreaker, it just gives you a conversation piece to let them know that you're up on the industry, and it's a way for you to get in and talk to them when you walk in. So always use those as icebreakers to make sure you have something in hand that you can talk about instead of walking in and kind of giving them that look like you're in there to sell them something and you don't know if they're going to buy it. I know the look, I know how it works. So it gives you an idea of something to do, because sometimes you walk in and you all confident and you've been on these calls and you're like, okay, I know what I'm gonna say. And you walk in and somebody comes out there like, how can I help you? What you need? And you freeze up. So now you got something to talk about, you're excited because you got some information that you can give them. You feel comfortable being able to talk about something that's in their industry, where you can kind of be on the same vibe as that person. So use those for that reason. Make sure you overlook it first so you understand what it's talking about, what it says. Don't just download it and then walk in there with it, and then you can't even talk about it. So look at it a few times and figure out what it means and how it's going to affect the trucking industry. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Ms. Sharanda Ivy. This was the young lady who you guys heard training this past weekend alongside Mr. Alan Roman. For those who don't know who Sharanda Ivy already is, she was the co-trainer. She is also one of the trainers on this call, and she has her own call on Thursdays, which is an accountability call. So I'm gonna turn it over to you, Ms. Sharanda, for the things that you want to talk about. We'll all chime in on that as well.
Okay, thank you, Randy, for pulling that file. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. And it's a big deal because it's a lot of people out there in the industry now that are non-CDL. They're driving box trucks, hot shots, dualies. And, before, people who got CDLs really didn't have to go to school but 3 weeks. I mean, they could get their license. So it's a big deal out there. It's a lot of talk. A lot of people are very anxious right now. So, but you want to start talking to those individuals. So we definitely can give them some peace of mind when they get behind that, and they got to have those license. It's a big deal. So thank you for Randy for pulling that paper, because it's good to see it, because it's really been all over the news. It's been a hot topic, guys, and it's really buzzing in the market. So definitely. I just wanted to talk a little bit more about the small business plan when it pertains to the CDL. The CDLP, when we offer it to our commercial, trucking companies and businesses. Just want to talk about how, we talk about it's an accountability call. And as I mentioned on Saturday, Melissa Wilder and the council does a great job of, overview of the small business. They don't go into niche markets. And so if you're going to sell it, just make sure you truly, you're marketing it correctly and knowing exactly what it does for for commercial trucking companies and those clients. Because I shared on the training on Saturday about a company that was recently found themselves in a lawsuit from the death of one of their drivers at no fault of theirs. So had we decided to, sell them something that didn't have the trial defense, I'm not sure if this company would be able to defend themselves when it came to the lawsuit. So they do have the trial defense coverage with their plan. But, just some of the benefits of that, knowing that a lawsuit can come up at any time. I know that. But, these types of companies find themselves in lawsuits more than, other companies. I won't say, other companies don't, but when those trucks roll off, a lot of those owners, they don't really have any control of what's going to happen out there. And so we want to make sure that we are making sure we ask the right questions to give them the full coverage so they can, have some, great benefits, and not say, well, I wish you had told me I could have afforded that, than find myself, where I'm at now. So Dunbar, I don't know if you want to talk more into that. I just wanted to share that. Because cross-selling could be, it can be tricky over here. And if you're not well versed or you haven't really learned the small business plan, you might find yourself getting stuck and, not selling the proper plan. So I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, actually a couple of different things. And of course, I'm trying to chime in as well. But when it comes to sales on any of those different things, cross-selling is important to know how to lead into cross-selling, know how to lead in, know what the plan does correctly. Those are all important things. We have to remember to always over-deliver, always undersell and over-deliver. So if you're selling the small business plan, sell it based on the need of the trucking company, not on your organizational premium dollars, not on how much money you need to qualify for something else. Base it on that company. I particularly don't sell the $49 small business plan because normally when I go out to market the small business plan to somebody, I want them to have trial coverage. And they can't get that with the $49. So I normally will do the $99 or the $169. That's just me personally. But I'll let them know that. I don't make that decision and not let them know that. I say, hey, we have a smaller plan, but it won't give you trial. You can't add trial defense to it. So I normally don't particularly talk about that plan. So I'll say $1,200 a year, which is the $99 a month. And then if they want to add the trial defense, I allow them to because I know they can at any point if they're not doing it today. But there's certain things about that plan that we really need to understand before we offer it. And in the CDLP space, I want to talk about like what the plan can and can't do, because again, we had a post on the Facebook page where Alan chimed in, I chimed in. I don't know if Cheryl Powers is on the on this Zoom tonight, but if she listens to it on the Facebook page or the YouTube page, whatever, she'll see it then at that point. But she had a particular situation with a trucking company where the driver didn't get any hits on their record, but the trucking company happened to get something on their safety score, even though the driver didn't. And when Alan mentioned that, hey, this small business plan is not going to help, the driver needs to be the one to have the membership. She then spoke to the law firm, and the law firm said, oh no, we can help. But the law firm was speaking from the side of, as a law firm, yes, they can help. And that's what they meant by it. But we have to understand when we're marketing that small business plan, the way that, right, like Kevin Hart said in the joke, right, several years ago, the way my bank account is set up, right? Well, the way CDLP is set up, you can't fix the company's safety score without fixing the safety score or the situation that the driver caused in the first place. So the driver has to get their situation dealt with before the business can have their situation dealt with, their safety score dealt with. That's why it's important to sell that CDL plan. So if you ever say, I really want to help the CDLP company, I want to help the logistics company with you can only help them with the safety issues by helping the driver with the CDL plan.
And
so you cannot forego the driver to say, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I touched on that Saturday, not thinking about that question she asked. So yeah, some of those citations come into with the carrier's name versus the driver, but it still relates back to the driver. So if that driver has the CDL plan and there's a court date on there, then they can send that in on that driver. That driver can, because the driver some of them have just the carrier's name on there. So, but no, that business plan isn't going to do anything for that just because it's in the carrier's name. It's not, the business plan does nothing for citations or any violation. It has nothing to do with that. That's what the CDLP plan does. That business plan is more for business management issues, lawsuit coverage, but nothing is covered under that business plan for violations and citations.
Yeah. And it's important to understand that, it's the art of selling LegalShield, right, guys? So I want you guys to remember, as you get further along in your business with LegalShield, you'll understand that certain questions you have to ask member services and certain questions you have to ask the law firm, right? Because there's a difference sometimes. So let's say, giving you just a hypothetical, that you had a person that you sold a family plan to, and that's all they had, but they actually had a CDLP license. And you said, oh, the law firm can help them even though they got a CDLP license. So they can call their law firm. Well, guess what? If you call the lawyer will help them at a 25% discount because they don't have a CDL plan. So depending on what law firm they call, that law firm will take that case and they will help that driver and they will charge them at a 25% discount because it's a CDLP issue and they don't have our CDLP plan. Some of the law firms will say, you need to get the CDLP plan. And then they will go, that person can come back to you and get that plan and then get protected. They still gonna do that 25% discount because it's after the fact. That's the deal. But the law firm saying that they can help them, yes, they can. But on our side of things, it's better for them to have the CDLP plan, not to have our family plan and then deal with a CDL issue. So understand that when you call a law firm and give them a scenario on whether they can help a client, they're gonna always say yes because they can help them at no additional cost or at a 25% discount. So the answer to that question is always gonna be yes. The question is, did you put your person in the right plan so that they can get specific things at no additional cost, right? Another scenario, I own a business, but I have a family plan. I call a law firm and say, hey, I have an issue with my business. Can you write a letter to a customer that owes me money? The law firm, your family plan law firm, they can write the letter. They're gonna do it at 25% discount because you don't have our business plan. So you have to remember, yes, they can do it, but you don't have them in the right plan. So you need to make sure that you understand that your customers are in the right plan and don't call a law firm asking them, can they do legal things? Because the answer is always going to be yes. The question is, do you have your customer in the right plan so that they get the best deal that they can get? Are they getting what they can get from us by having themselves in the right service that we offer? So that is our job to do that. So we can blame it on the law firm. We can say a law firm should have told them that they needed to get a different plan. No, you should have asked questions like Sharanda Ivy mentions every single week. Ask questions so you know how to cover your customer. That is your prospect, that is your customer. They're in your hands. So if you're prospecting them, you should ask them, right? Do you drive commercially? Right? Because you didn't meet them in a big rig don't mean they don't have a CDL. That's why you ask questions. Because you didn't meet them in their business doesn't mean that they don't own a business. Because you meet them in their business doesn't mean they don't have a CDL or that they don't want a family plan. So ask questions. Ask them, do they need the identity theft plan? Let them know how it works. If you ask questions, you'll know who your prospect is, and then you can market the right products to them to make sure that they're covered instead of leaving them uncovered for another associate to go in and talk to and close on them, and for them to not be in the right plan when something happens to them. So it's our job to make sure that we're doing those things. So Randy, if you want to touch on that, Sharanda, if you still got some more things you want to mention on that.
What I would suggest, Robert, is so that everybody's clear. A commercial driver has two records, and that's what changes with a commercial driver over a regular driver with a license. If you have just a regular Class C license, then you have an MVR to your state. That MVR is reported to the state if you get a moving violation on it, or if you have an accident or whatever. It goes on your record as an MVR record. Your commercial driver has that same MVR record on his license for the state that has issued his license or where he's living, but he also has a CSA, which is reported to Data Q, and the Data Q score is his other federal record, and it is the one that is tied to the company. And so therefore he gets two shots. Every time he gets a citation, it applies on two things. It applies on his federal record, which is the Data Q, which is issued with CSA points. He also gets a MVR hit from his state license. That's like here in Texas, overweight ticket does not issue CSA points to a CSA score to the federal record to Data Q, but it does issue, it can issue MVR points if they so incline. In California, Georgia, where Ms. Sharanda is, Florida, and Illinois, it issues 4 points on the MVR of that driver. And therefore, those 4 points can be huge because that affects his personal insurance along with his driving for the company. So whenever you understand that the CSA goes against the company too. All of those citations are on the driver's record. If they get there for 3 years, they're on the company's record for 2 years. And so therefore, that's the most important part as far as keeping it off of a driver's record, is so that it doesn't get there. Because if it gets on the record, it has to fall off. You can't get, any lawyer can't take one of those citations off. And so whenever you understand why it does what it does, you understand what Ms. Sharanda was talking about.
And that's what, and that was shared too, Randy. We have to know our plans, right? We have to know them. If you don't know the plan, you're gonna have 1,000 questions. You're gonna have scenarios because you don't know the plan. So we have to learn our plans, and we have to learn in the market how our plan helps. But I mean, because
I'm saying whenever I say to learn the industry, whenever I say learn the industry, that's what I'm talking about, is learn how it affects the driver, so that whenever you explain to him how that affects that driver, he's ready to buy the plan. You don't have to sell it to him.
Absolutely. But, and if you talk to enough people will get you to say, I get people ask me all day, well, what if this happened? Well, what if that happened? You can't get stuck in that. But if you don't know the plan, you'll get tied up in all that. And, you'll go ask these random questions, out there, because you don't really understand the plan. The small business plans has nothing to do with violations and citations, whether it's written in the company's name or the driver's name. That small business plan does not do anything for that, with a period at the end. That's the end of the sentence.
Yeah, our small business plan is for the company. Yeah, right.
Oh, no, go ahead, Randy.
No, that's what I say. What Sharanda was saying, period. It protects the company, not the driving records.
Yeah, the question is, the concern is the citation came in it was with the company's name versus the driver's. So, the associate was under the impression, that meant that it was the company. No, it meant that the driver had a plan. Yeah, we start with that. That still doesn't do anything. That business plan doesn't do anything for that citation just because it was in the company's name. It doesn't.
That's something that I don't understand, is because it has to be tied to a driver's license number, how they could put it in the driver's name to begin with, or in the company's name to begin with.
Yeah, that's the point. That's why, and I want to say Mr. Rayhard talked about that too. I mean, but again, you got to know your plans. And hey, the 67 of us are on here, and whoever catches on replay, the business plan does not do anything with citations and violations, even if they're written in the company's name.
Right. And is it safe to say, and I know we've said this before, but again, there's always different people on, and I know how it is. I'm on trainings all the time. We all on trainings all the time. We miss stuff, right? This is the key, what both of you guys are saying. It doesn't matter that the driver didn't get the ticket. The company is in the company days, whatever. We don't have nothing to do with that. Our company says, LegalShield says, right? It's an unwritten rule, right? That as long as that driver that was behind the wheel when that ticket was written has our plan, they can send it in and we'll fight it. Now, again, as long as the driver driving has our plan. This is why we tell you to put those guys, right, and it has a court date.
And it has a court date. If it don't have a court date, we can't do anything with it. But again, that's knowing that's knowing the plan.
Yes, knowing the plan. Good stuff. Good stuff. So anything else you want to add to that before we move on? We good?
Good. I mean, we good. I mean, yeah, it was something I was going to say for, but yeah, for the most part, yeah.
So any conversation, do we need to have any conversation about driver appreciation?
I said it to every driver I spoke with today, and they was like, oh, thank you. And I reminded two investors.
I would say, if nothing else, Robert, if you have any company that you're servicing or anything, at least reach out and tell the company that you appreciate them and that you appreciate their drivers, so that they know it was a driver's appreciation week.
No, that's good. And we want to be known for that. I just went to the Facebook page a second ago, Randy, and downloaded to save the image that you posted up there and said put it on your page. I'm gonna drop that on my CDLP page, and I'm gonna also drop it on my Instagram page, guys. So if you're on Instagram, take that same image that Randy put up there, put it on your Instagram, put it in there, because that little square, it'll fit as a post on Instagram too, as well. So wherever you at on social media that you can drop it, so people will know that you're appreciating truckers. Again, guys, that's something that I like to call a lead magnet, right? Let people know, right? When you say thanks to the truckers, then some truckers are going to say, hey man, thanks. Guess who's going to be saying thanks back most of the time? Somebody who's in that industry. That's because you're talking to them. So you're letting them know what you do when you put that on your page and say thank you. So grab that off the Facebook page, drop it on your social media, so that they get shown that appreciation. Remember, we just had, like, well, I shouldn't say we just had, because in some areas we're still dealing with it pretty heavy, the pandemic. Those truck drivers, man, they drove through that, and there's a lot of truck drivers who lost their life delivering things during that pandemic, that got sick and didn't survive the illness that they got because they were still on the road working. So trucking is a big part of this country's existence and what we have. So showing that appreciation is just a good thing. So we got 15 minutes left. We want to do some Q&A, or do we got some more topics you guys want to cover?
See if there's any question.
All right, good stuff. And actually, I did see some questions. That's you, Sharon? Go ahead, Sharon.
Yeah, I was saying I didn't see any questions per se. They was asking about your Facebook page for the replay. But if they do have a question, you want them to raise the little mechanical hand, the animated hand, or?
Yeah, they can raise their hand, and if they don't know how to find it, I know some people can't find it that really don't know how to operate Zoom that well. If you need to just unmic or go in the chat and ask the question, and then we'll ask it if you don't know how to raise your hand. But the best way is to raise your hand, and then we'll call on you. Going once.
Wow.
Going twice.
Yes.
All right. Willie Tobo, he raised his real hand.
Yes. Well, first of all, I want to thank all of you for what you do. And Miss Saranda, I'm telling you, you're just off the chain, and I appreciate your training on Saturday. So just for clarity, and I got it, but I want to make sure I have it. So here's this trucking company that has drivers, but the company itself cannot get the CDLP plan, only the drivers. So my question is, what if, well, I think I'm answering it, but let me just get clarity. So here's this trucking company, the only one that can benefit from the CDLP plan directly is the drivers, and the company benefit as a result of the drivers having the plan.
Absolutely. The drivers are what push the numbers. It's sometimes DOT do write some violations, some citations in the company's name, but it goes back, it starts, the driver gets it. So if that driver has the plan and it's a court date on there, they can send that in. But if it's not a court date, you can't send it in anyway, because you don't have a court date. But no, the CDLP plan is for the drivers and the DOT violations and CSA scores. The business plan does nothing for CSA violations, tickets, anything. The business plan doesn't do anything. You can't use the business plan for that. That's not what it's for. The business plan is for business. Think about like business management, and that's what I used on Saturday. Business consultation. That trucking company is a business. It's just a trucking company. It's dealing with these regulations that's getting ready to take place. It's dealing with, they have just questions, even though the drivers are 1099s, they're dealing with issues still, just like any other business. And so they can get the business consultation. These companies are dealing with a lot of contracts and things like that. We have that in the business plan where they can use the business plan for that. You know, the phone calls and all that, the business tax, all that stuff is in that. You know, the 169 I talked about helps with, you know, those flat rates for writing contracts. I talked about how it's a lot of investors, right, are starting trucking companies, but they don't own a whole CDL. They have no knowledge of the industry. So they have a lot of questions. They're doing a lot of leasing because, of course, all their drivers are leasing on to them, or they may own the trucks, but most of them are just doing owner operators are leasing on. So they need those contracts. And then you have the trial defense for lawsuits, not necessarily all accidents. They're getting sued for insurance reasons, for, you know, damaging cargo and things like that, or dealing with other vendors and brokers. They're getting they're in lawsuits often, you know, or whatever. That's what the business plan is for. Nothing, that business plan will not help them with anything with the citation or a ticket, as they call it, none of that. That driver has to have the CDLP plan. That's what the CDLP plan is for. That's the coverage. Yes.
Thank you.
But you got to know that every now and then they do write tickets in the company's name, but the business plan doesn't help with that. That driver, whoever got it, you know, needs the plan. That makes sense, sir?
Yes, thank you.
And let me add something to a different scenario too, just so guys understand. And this is not, I'm not adding a scenario to what Sharanda just said about what the business plan does do. Like, she just made that clear. But I want you guys to look at an example, because it seems like a lot of people are getting, like, they're getting stuck on the, why does the business plan not help the company when the driver gets in trouble and the ticket is written in the company's name? That keeps throwing people for a loop. So look at it in another sense. So I'm gonna take it all the way out of CDLP somewhere else, right? Just a criminal situation. Imagine if one of your kids was stealing cars and putting the cars in the garage of your house, and you didn't realize it was cars in the garage. And the police came, found the cars, arrested your kid, and then said that they were taking your house because illegal things were going on in your house. As the parent, you went to go get an attorney, and the attorney said, we can't do anything for you. In order for them not to take your house, you have to get an attorney for your kid and beat those charges. If y'all can beat the charges, and they say, hey, those cars weren't stolen, or you didn't put them there, or he didn't know they were there, then they can't take your house because we overturned the charges. But there's nothing that you can do as the parents on getting an attorney, because you're going to lose the house if they find it guilty that your kid stole those cars and put them in the garage. There's no way around it. You guys follow that? So the same way as a parent, you can't do anything yourself. You buying an attorney to deal with that situation is not going to help you because you're not on trial. You guys follow that? Your kid has to beat the criminal charges and not lose the house. If he loses or she loses, you lose the house. If y'all overturn the charges, you don't. So you can only put your money on the attorney that's going to defend your kid. That's the same thing that's happening with CDLP. The drivers need to have the plan if the company don't want the tickets to affect them, because they have to fight the ticket for the driver. If there's a court date, like Sharanda said, they have to fight that ticket and win or get it reduced in order for them to be able to data queue it off the driver and then data queue it off themselves. So them having an attorney is not going to help them in that scenario. And our business plan is not going to do anything to help them, because going to court and saying, hey, we got a ticket in our company name. No, got to fight it for the driver. So I hope that clears it up a little bit on that side of it, on why we keep telling people that you can't, the company having an attorney is not going to help them with that citation or violation. The driver has to do it, even if the driver didn't get it written in their name. They were driving the vehicle at the time that the ticket was written or the citation was written on behalf of the company. Whoever was behind that vehicle, the wheel of that vehicle, when it happened, they need to be the ones that have a plan in order for it to work on their behalf. And they have to deal with that citation and violation. And then once the result comes back, the company can deal with how it's affecting their safety score. So I hope that helps. on that? Any of your trainers want to, go ahead.
Clarence was wondering if a citation doesn't have a court date on it, then it is considered a warning. Not necessarily, Clarence. It can also be a whenever they bring that citation, just like in New Mexico, will deliver 2 different citations. Whenever they come up and talk to you the first time, the citation that they will bring most of the time, if you sign it, you just admitted guilt. It doesn't have a court date on it, but you admitted guilt. And therefore, nobody can do anything with that citation if you sign it. So that's the reason that we teach the drivers that are driving into Mexico out of the company I work for to ask for one with a court date. They will go back and get that and bring it to them in New Mexico if they ask for it, if they don't ask for it. Now, they can be issued a warning that doesn't have a court date on it. And so long as it has the little numbers on it that are in the little green book, 393.2, 280.6.7, if it has those numbers on it, those violations will go against the driver, even if it's a warning. And so therefore, that's the reason that driver usually says, I don't want the warning, let me have a ticket with a court date. Because if they've got the court date, then we can fight it. If they don't have a court date, you can't do nothing with it. So I hope that clears that up for you.
And Mr. Ray Hall talked about that on Saturday, about warnings. And you went over that, how, they don't always come with fine. They don't always come with warnings. Normally don't come with court dates. And he talked about how we can't do anything if it doesn't have a court date. We just can't. I mean, nothing we can do.
Joanna has her hands raised.
Hi,
Joanna, if you can unmute.
Hi, this is Jonna. Thank you. I was wondering on the business plans because training because I'm new. I was wondering, are those recorded and then we can go back and listen to them anytime?
The business plan?
Training. Mm-hmm.
It's some in the back office. If it's not a paid training, normally they are in the back office. So you can go on your resources on the multimedia and look for some small business trainings. So
the one like Melissa did today.
I don't know, was it a paid one?
Some of those are recorded, and if they are, they will be in that multimedia section.
Okay.
Yeah.
The back office. Yeah.
Thank you.
We had Sheila that had her hand up.
And real quickly before we answer the next question, just so you guys know, because I get that question a lot too, just so you guys all know on here. Certification trainings are never recorded and you can never go back. So if it's a CDLP certification, if it's a group certification, level 1, level 2, or if it's one of Melissa Wilder's like trainings where they're charging you to take it, any of those trainings they're not going to be recorded for you to go back and listen to, obviously, because it's a paid training. If it's not a paid training, normally those you can access them as long as it's not something that you had to pay for. That's generally the rule with LegalShield. So that's pretty much how that works. So you can go back and look at the ones that aren't paid trainings. Sharon, you were saying another question?
Sheila Horn has her hand up.
Yes.
Hey,
Hi.
Sheila Horn. What's
Hi,
up?
how are you?
I'm good. Good to see
Good
you.
evening. I just appreciate this training. I appreciate the person who sent me to this training. I just moved into an area that I am between 2 major truck stops, and trucks are stopped by my house all the time. And I just think that God is telling me to help them. So I'm looking for a workout partner. I wasn't able to make the training Saturday, but I am CDL certified and I will be on these calls. But if anybody is looking for a workout partner, I'm just looking for somebody to be accountable to and to start this journey with. I mean, there are at least once a day down the street from me, a truck is pulled over every single day.
Good stuff. And just so you know, Sheila, Sharanda Ivy runs an accountability call. So if you're going to be serious about doing CDL and you're going to be pulling trucking companies and looking at them and prospecting them, she has a call that happens on Thursdays, and it's full of serious people who are doing CDLP every day. There's probably going to be a good place for you to find an accountability partner as well.
Okay.
But just know that call on Thursday is no nonsense. So like it's not a laid back call like this where we kind of just giving out details, that call is like you're in the field working and you're on that call plugging in because you're out in the field working. So that's a great place to find an accountability partner for you on CDLP.
Okay, Sharanda, can you give me the
Right.
contact for that?
It's on the Facebook page under announcements.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
We have another question. It says, how does the CDLP help with non-moving violations dealing with equipment such as faulty brakes, worn tires, etc.?
If they got a citation for it, they will take it to court.
If it has a court date.
If it has the court date on it, yes.
Right, that's what the plan does. It'll be great if everybody on the call tonight would go and pull your plan details and read the plan details. That'll help you. I promise you it will.
The contract is in the if you go to your We Are LegalShield page and pull up the CDL portion, if you're CDL qualified, there is, and start to check out. Whenever you start to check out, it will give you the plan details, and it is actually the contract. Read it. It'll tell you exactly what it covers and what it does not cover.
Right.
Print it off.
And something to add to that, guys, because sometimes people take that somewhere else. So what does it do? You're not an attorney. So you
Right.
shouldn't be answering what the result is going to be if that's what you're trying to get to. So that's the other thing. Again, that goes back to what we said earlier about overselling. Don't let people to push you to tell them what an attorney is going to do in your situation. I was on the phone with a person the other day, a CDL guy he wasn't even in a big rig. He actually was in his regular vehicle on Labor Day, on the holiday. And he got ticketed for reckless driving in his car. They said he was swerving and switching lanes with no blinker. They pulled him over, and actually he stopped. He parked, and the police pulled behind him, put his lights on, and then wrote the guy up a reckless driving ticket. And the guy was just like going berserk about it. He called me. He doesn't have a CDL plan. He called me telling me somebody told him to give me a call, and he was all up in arms about it, about how it's going. And all he wanted to know was, what are your attorneys going to do? What are they going to say? And I kept sticking to I said, sir, I don't know your driving record. Well, I'll send you up. No, don't send me over your driving record because I don't need to see it. What I need you to do is enroll in this plan. Know that because you already got the citation, it's going to be a 25% discount, and let the attorney do their job. I cannot tell you what the attorney is going to do. I can't tell you anything about the process that it's going to take in court. You got a reckless driving ticket. You got to let the attorneys deal with it. I'm not promising you nothing. The attorney's not going to promise you nothing. Well, how much is it going to cost me 25% discount? I don't have a clue because I don't know what jurisdiction. I don't know what else is on your record. Well, I can send you. No, you can't send me anything. Send it to the attorney. I don't need to know it, right? Why am I sticking to my guns? Because the minute I give that guy any solid information that I do not know, he's going to come back and hold me accountable for that.
Mm-hmm.
I do not know what the attorney's going to charge. I do not know what the 25% discount is going to be, right? I do not know what's going to happen after court. I do not know whether you're going to lose your driver's license because I don't know what else you've been charged for before. Right? And I don't have time to look at your driver record because I don't get paid to do it. I am a sales agent for LegalShield. I don't want to look at your driver record. So stop getting yourself in everybody's case, sell the plan, and be the go-between with the law firm and member services to make sure your client is treated fairly as the contract says. Don't be an attorney. Don't feel like you need to answer questions that you can't answer, and don't get pressured into answering something, because the minute you say this is what it should cost, or it shouldn't cost any more than, or they should be able to do, and they don't, they're going to come back to you and they're going to tell you that. They're going to tell a law firm you told them that. They're going to tell member services you told them that, and it's not going to work. It's not going to work out well for you.
We're just a
So
connector.
no, go ahead. There you go. You're just a connector.
We're just a
And don't,
connector.
yeah,
We can connect you from our plan to the attorney, and that's all we do.
right, exactly. And the guy I'm talking about, guess what? He didn't get the plan. You know why he didn't get the plan? Because I wouldn't tell him what he wanted to hear. And guess what? I would rather you just not get the plan than for you to get the plan and then say, I told you it was going to do something that I can't tell you what it's going to do. So I let him go on about his business. That's his CDL license. If you want to risk it and not have a plan, that's totally on him, right? You can't save everybody, guys. So that's where it's at. So you got to be able to stick to your guns as that sales rep. Remember, your business that stays on the books, it pays you now for up to 20 years. And if you guys have paid attention to any of these comp plan changes, on month 13, you're now getting residual income. on every sale you make starting October 1st. So you better keep these memberships on the books. So don't sell bad plans. Anything else going on back there, Sharon?
One last question from Joanna again.
Uh-huh.
John.
Go ahead, dear heart.
Hey, Randy, you mentioned that we go to We Are Legal and then go underneath plans. Is that correct?
You go to your website, like mine is Raymond Hooker .wearelegalshield.com. And it'll come up with my page where I can sell it. If you'll go to CDL and then go in there and you tell it what state you're in or whatever, just like you were going to buy it, it'll come up eventually that it shows plan details. You have to look for all the little deals. When it shows plan details, you can click on it and that will give you the contract.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Good call.
That's all the
you're
questions
welcome.
we have thus far.
Okay, and I saw somebody say something. You know what though, Sharon, you may have answered that in the chat. I'm not even looking at the chat. Okay, yep, there you go. Sharon answered it. All right, so good stuff, guys. We appreciate you guys being with us again. If anything goes or anything changes, you will definitely hear it here on this call, and you'll definitely hear it on the CDLP certification training. Sharon, do they have the next one scheduled yet?
I don't know the date, but John Hoffman will be the guest trainer.
Okay, got you.
They
I
didn't
would
have the
imagine.
date.
So well, I don't know. Are they doing one in October? Like, did they even mention that they were skipping it? So they are doing one in October. Okay, good. All right, good stuff. So be looking for that date. Once it pops up and we know about it, it'll be on the Facebook page. You guys will get an email on it as well. And thanks for filling up that class. I know Sharanda and Alan had to add 30 seats to that class because you guys were coming
60.
in to get certified. 60. Ooh, look at that. 60 seats. That's good stuff, guys. So way to show up, guys. That's the way to show appreciation for those trainers going on, is to pack them out like that. So thank you guys again for being with us tonight. This will be what it already is. We run this live on YouTube, guys. So it's on YouTube already. So if you missed anything, you want to go back, just go right onto the channel and take a look at whatever you need to take a look at. It's training by Dunbar. Just go to Robert Dunbar and then scroll down to the playlist and you'll see it says LegalShield Weekly CDLP. Sales motivation, and it'll have them all numbered. Remember, when you go to look at those, guys, start from the newest one. Don't go to sales motivation number 1 and go up to 55, because so many things change that you're gonna be looking at old information. Start at 55 and go backwards, if that makes sense. That way you're getting the most current information first. That's how I would suggest you do that. So you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. We look forward to being on with you guys on next week, Monday. And don't forget, Sharanda's accountability call is on Thursday for those that plug in there. So enjoy the rest of your week, guys.
Oh, man.
I got it posted, guys. It's on the Facebook page now.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Good night,
everyone.
everybody. Great
Good
job.
night.
all.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Absolutely. You're welcome. Thanks for being on.
Great as always.
Hey, Robert,
Wanda, call me Wanda.
Okay.
Who is that speaking to me?
it's Elmer.
Hey, Elmer, what's up, man?
Hey, pretty good, man. I just had a quick question. In order for like to protect the driver and whatnot, to qualify for a group, it has to be $99, right?
What you mean?
Like if I'm trying to do a group, like one CDL driver and whatnot, protect them as a business or whatnot, it could qualify as a group with the $99 plan, correct?
Yeah. Now, are you selling any CDLP plans to anybody?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're doing a $99 business plan and then a CDLP plan to the owner operator? Is that what you're doing?
Correct. Yes.
Yes. That will qualify you as a group. Yeah. Remember, you only need one plan to be a group.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you can do that. And if you got any more questions about getting it set up, just call me and I'll answer your questions over the phone. Yeah. So that's not a problem. And my number, just in case you don't have my number, I know I haven't talked to you in a while. So if you don't have my number, it's 904-290-2960. 904-290-2960.
All righty, y'all. Have a good one, y'all.
All right, all right.